Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night. Welcome back if you've been here before. I am just here to tell you guys really what this video is about, but if you read the title, I'm telling you a timeline of my life from whatever I can remember, okay? So, I hope you guys enjoy it, and we're going to get right into it. Very quickly, before we get started, due to this being the abandoned floor of a hospital building, I'm going to close this door, because if I ever look back on this video and see something moving in the background, you'll never hear from me. I'm better now. Okay, I can't see anything. Now, if something was to move in this room, this video will end. But, onto the video. Okay, I am Ty, if you don't know that by now. I am Ty, welcome to my channel. I'm lucky to have you, okay? At the age of 4, I was adopted. I was adopted by my aunt, which is my father's sister, okay? 3 months before I was born, my father actually passed away. So, my aunt took me in. When I was 6, around the age of 6, my mom, my father's sister, started to do daycare and foster care. So I grew up in a house that was foster care ran, where there was a lot of children and stuff, different influences coming in and out. Not an easy life, but I lived it. At the age of 11, TMI, but this is a part of me, right? When I was 11, first day of 5th grade, your girl started her period. Yeah, first day of 5th grade. I remember the outfit and everything. I do. When I was 13 in middle school, I went to my first Chris Brown concert. Shout out to my auntie, my actual auntie, like my other aunt. When I was 14, I lived in Pomona, California. When I was 14, all of a sudden we just packed up and we moved to Victorville. So when I was 14, I moved to Victorville from Pomona, left all my friends and family and everything. I started to go to school out in Victorville. First year of being a freshman in high school. Terrible. Okay, I got all F's. All F's. I don't know what was going on. I guess it was just like, okay, first of all, I had went to like 1,000 different schools within a school year. Like elementary, I kind of stayed at the same elementary for like a couple, stop saying like. I stayed at the same elementary school for about the same amount. Like, I didn't transfer to different elementary schools like I did with middle schools and high schools. Middle schools, I went to 2 different middle schools. How long are you in middle school? 2 years. 7th and 8th grade. At least that's how my middle school went. So for 7th grade, I went to one middle school. For 8th grade, I went to a different middle school. And then after I went to middle school for 8th grade, when I went to the 9th grade, I started to go to a school that I really wanted to go to. All my friends were going there. We were all transferring to that school. So when I was in the 9th grade, still in Pomona, because we moved like in the middle semester of high school. You know, stupid. Yeah, I went to that school and I was only there for like 2 months. So at that school, I was like, why am I about to be put, this is my mindset back then, don't blame me. I was like, if I'm only going to be here for 2 months, why am I about to put my all into this schoolwork? So I really didn't do nothing. Like, I was like, fuck it. So I left that school like within the 2 months that I told you, and then we moved. So when I got up there, I guess I had the same mindset, like, I'm not going to be here the whole freaking school year, I'm just going to move. And that's exactly what happened. So, at the end of that school year, I went to a different school. It was like a school where you basically are on your own, like you go pick up your homework and take it home and do it. And that really didn't work for me because I'm not the type of child that can just be told, like, I need you to sit down and I need you to teach me, especially with math. If you think I'm finna sit here and multiply, add, subtract, divide, PEMDAS, all that, if you think I'm finna do that by myself, let me tell you, math is not my strong suit, baby. Okay. So I went to a school like that. Didn't work for me. I don't remember my grades. I think I did a little bit better because there was like a tutor there. But nah. After that, I went to a different school. It was a continuation school. So I was there. This is at 16. I went to that school at 16. And I did a little bit better. A little bit, like not a lot, but a little bit. Maybe because if I was acting up or if I didn't get the good grades that I was supposed to, my parent was going to show up to my freaking school and sit in the classroom with me, which is something that I didn't like, and I totally disapprove of doing those things to just embarrass your child. But hey, I still didn't do well, and it didn't really help that, you know, I didn't go to school like I was supposed to, and not saying that I was a bad child, but I wasn't, okay. Yeah, during the, if you're 16, what grade are you in? Sophomore? Freshman? When you're 16 and you're in high school, I don't know. When I was 16 at that school, I got in my first relationship, my actual, like, real relationship, because when I was 14, I was in a relationship, but they were like, I didn't like them all the way. When I was 16, I got in my first relationship. In my house, there was a rule that you couldn't date unless you were 16, so I finally got my real relationship that I wanted, and that was hard. With the parent that I had, yeah, it was very hard. She made everything difficult, but that's another story. I'm not here for that. Yeah, when I was 16, I got my first relationship. I ditched once when I was at that school. Once. Let's go back. I'll tell you guys. When I was like, I don't want to say 9 because that's terrible. How old are you when you're 9? Huh? What grade are you in when you're 9? No, I wasn't still in elementary school. I'm going to say that this was a part of middle school that I was in. When I was in middle school, we started to go, like, me and another foster child that was in my house, we started to go to this one school. It was like a very low-key school. Like, I can't even tell you the name of it because it's not really a school. Like, it's just somewhere that they sent kids to try to learn. I don't know. But we went there. And one day, we decided that we wasn't going to school. We was not going to school this day. So, we ditched. We went to a library. We went to, I want to say, the park or something. I think we even might have went to the movies. I don't quite remember, but I do remember that on that day, the one day we decided to ditch, my parent decided that she wanted to be real nice and generous and bring us lunch to school that day. So she did. And she went. And she came to the conclusion that her children weren't at school. So, yeah, that's another story. But I just wanted to tell y'all that I had ditched before. And at that time, when I ditched that time, my parent actually was like, you know, you're a kid, you're going to ditch, but just when you decide to ditch, let me know. So she wasn't really at my butt about it, but I learned, yeah. So 16, yeah, I ditched. I had, every school I went to, I basically had a best friend. Like, I had my best friend, I had my boyfriend at the time, and I loved it. I liked that school. Like, it was a lot of black people, you know. It was, yeah. When I was 16 and a half, not even 16 and a half, when I was 16 and about to turn 17 in like 2 weeks, so I was like 2 weeks away from 17, make it easier. When I was 16, about to be 17 in 2 days, I 2 weeks. Shut up. I took it upon myself to run away. Hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. Going back to about 15, 14 and a half or 15, one of those. When I was 14 and a half or 15, I also tried to run away. That's another story. I tried to run away to my cousin's house and the police came and I had to go back, and yeah, I was just stuck. But I did run away previously. So at 16, 2 weeks away from 17, I ran away again. This time it stuck for a little bit. I left the house for like 3 days, and then I slept on playground apparatuses. I slept in abandoned in the doorways of abandoned houses because like it would give you shelter. I did what I had to do. I was outside for 3 days just walking. My feet hurt so bad I could not explain to you. But I was just determined to like leave. Like I didn't want to go back. So I was just done. And I guess one day someone saw me or something. I really don't know what happened, but I know that the police came looking for me and they found me, and they were just asking me like, okay, what are you doing? And blah, blah, blah. I ran away, duh. So they had to take me, and they called my parent, and they were like, oh, we found your daughter, and blah, blah, blah. She says that she doesn't really want to come back, and we don't really have anywhere to put her. Like, I guess a group home or something. I don't know. So they had to take me back, and then, yeah, they took me back. She asked him like, oh, what's the appropriate way to neglect a child? So basically he was like, you only need to give her like a sliver of food and a sheet. Not a blanket, not a pillow, just a sheet. That's all she needs, and you need a bed. So I lived like that until the 2 weeks. I was only there for 2 weeks, and I had a birthday in the house and everything. She bought me a cake, and she tried to really talk to me like we were still friends at this time, okay? Yeah. So 2 weeks later, during this 2 weeks, I would type on the computer. Like I had all types of electronics. Of course, they were taken away from me because I did try to run away and I was being a bad child. But I had a mini computer also. So every night when my parent would sleep, it was easy to tell she was asleep because she snores. I would sneak in her room and I would go get the computer and I write to my cousin on not Facebook because this was in 2000 something else. MySpace. I was using MySpace. And I would tell her like, okay, this is the deal. This is the whoop-de-whoop-whoop. I'm finna leave on this day. Come get me here. Tell my grandma that you and her need to meet me here on this day at this time. I will be there. So we finally came to that agreement. 2 weeks later, I ran away again, and I went to live with my grandma. She knew, my parent knew where I was, but it was just like, leave it alone at this point. I'm 17, leave me alone, right? So I went to live with my grandma at 17. I ran away with her. When I got to my grandma's house, it was a little difficult because I had ran away with things that, like with like 5 items, so I didn't really have that much clothes or like money or anything. So it was a little difficult, but we found a way. We made it happen, okay? At 17, when I got there, we enrolled me in school and I started to live. We enrolled me in school. I enrolled into this school that was it was a uniform school, so it was like a discipline school, I guess. So I enrolled in there. I got in, and I went to that school for 1 day. 1 day, because of the type of schools that I was in, the continuation schools, and the kind of points, like credits. The type of credits that they did, like it was different. So they had to send me to another school that did credits like that, or else I wasn't going to get the amount of credits that I needed. I was going to be going backwards instead of forward. So I went to that school for 1 day. And then I got over to the other school, which was a continuation school, but not because I am a terrible child. It's just because that's the way the credits was ran, okay? Don't judge me. So I went to that school, I got in, I started to go, and I started making friends, started to ride the bus, which wasn't something that I was used to. Yeah, so I started to take the bus, I started to walk places, I started making friends, which is something that I never really did before because I lived in a very controlled environment. So yeah, I started to go to the school, started to hang out outside in the apartment complexes, started to I actually was able to go to my cousin's house. I was never able or allowed to go to my actual cousin's house. This is my cousin. Our fathers are brothers. Okay? I never was allowed to go to her house. Let me tell you. My parents, she was that. Okay? We're just going to leave it there. She was that. So I started to go to my cousin's house. I started to hang out with her more. I started to actually be able to go out. I started to go to parties. I started to go just shopping. Okay, at the age of 18, let me tell you. When you're 18, in California at least, you have to be 18 to get on GR, which is general relief. They give you a snippet of money and you can apply for food stamps. So, at the age of 18, your girl was part of that clan, okay? So that's how I provided for myself at the time. Yeah, I lived off that basically. And then, yeah, we started to go out to restaurants, we started shopping, we started going on bus trips, train rides, all types of stuff. Started doing things that I never did because I was just sheltered, But I enjoyed it. At this time, around when I moved to my grandma's house, when I started living, I would go outside and we would be outside playing. Well, not playing because we was too big. I met my now best friend at that time, around when I moved to my grandma's house. At the age of 18, like I said, we was partying, we was going out and all types of stuff. At the age of 18, I met a man who was no good for me. So I was gone with him all the time. Every day I would come home, grab some clothes, go with him. Come home, grab some clothes, go with him. So I would go be with him, and he was a problem. So yeah, he got me in some trouble that we're not going to talk about. When did I go? I started talking to that guy at 18 and a half. I started talking to him in January. I stopped talking to him on my 19th birthday. Like I said, he got me into some trouble, so I had to leave from my grandma's house to go back up into the mountains with my parents. That's the day I said, I'm done, I can't do it anymore. I left after so much shit, okay? My 19th birthday, I left. I found my way to go to my cousin's house and then figured out everything from there. And then after all that, that's when I went up to my parents' house. So I was 19 when I left and I moved up there. So I went back up to live with her and try to gather myself, come back to reality, and put pieces of the puzzle back together of my life. But he made me fall out with my cousin and my best friend around the same time. Me and my cousin, we are okay, so we fell off for 2 months. And then we started talking, like we was being petty. I forget what the hell we was talking about. Like we would go back and forth on Facebook, like talking about each other but not talking about each other. And then one day we just was like, "Are you done? Are you done? Okay, well we're done." So we started talking again and we was cool like nothing ever happened. But yeah. So with my best friend, we fell out. Like we was not talking. I don't want to say a year, but 6 months to a year. It was a long time. So when I went to live with her, I started to try to look for work and try to finish school because I had to finish school. I could not pass this thing that we have in California, but it is called the CASE, the California High School Exit Exam. And I could not pass that. I missed it by 1, I missed it by 5, I gave up. So I started working towards that to try to pass it and see if I can actually graduate sometime in the future. During this time when I lived with her, like, during this time, out of nowhere, I got a call from my best friend. She called me and she was like, we were talking, and I was like, after all this time, I'm just sitting here and I'm baffled. I'm like, wow, because I still had her number on my phone, so when it rang, I seen it was her. I was like, wow. I asked her like, hello, like, are you dying? Like, what's happening? She called me to tell me some information that I cannot tell y'all, and then from there, we got back friends. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There might be a part 2. So I appreciate you guys for watching this video, and come back to watch many more. I'm gonna do more with this channel, I promise.